Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grove 911. I'm Officer Gail Griffith.
And I'm Officer Mike Vandevort. And Gail, we're back in our old stomping grounds of the studio here today.
We are. We're back in the studio, but we have some friends joining us today. Our friends to the north from Woodbury are here.
That's right. From First Response.
From First Response, we have Chris Rowe, Yvette Tillery, and Spencer Schofield.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having
we finally
us.
got together. We've been talking about it for a long time. It's awesome. So we're glad to have you.
Well, we're going to pick their brains, and we're going to basically talk about why we're doing this show together, because we oftentimes do a lot of things together in the course of our duties.
We do. And so we kind of talk about that, but we thought that we'd bring them into the studio with us, and we can kind of share with you from both of our perspectives how we jointly share our public safety services and what we kind of do together. So even though, we're neighbors, we still cross our borders and we help each other out, and really public safety is one big happy family.
That's right. And we have a lot of things we offer, and they have a lot of things they offer, and sometimes we just meet in the middle and get things done.
We share a lot of things. We respond for each other. We scan, we're listening to what's going on with each other. Do you guys want to kind of share what other ways, kind of let people know what other ways Woodbury kind of assists Cottage Grove and we assist you?
Especially for Spencer and I, because Yvette works in investigations, we do, especially when you're working closer to the borders, so you listen for calls. I know we listen and try to familiarize yourself with the streets and main parts of Cottage Grove, because we've all lived there too, and then you hear officers go out on calls or traffic stops, and you want to be able to at least be close or even go into the city and be part of, to help out.
I remember I made a stop on a guy just for expired tabs, but he had a permit to carry, and I aired that out, and next thing I know, there was a Cottage Grove officer right behind me, he was in the area. I was a little south of Woodbury, just kind of on the border, just because of that call. He's going to have a firearm on him. He just showed up, said hello, made sure everything was fine, and went on our way.
It's a great way to.
Nice.
It's not like the border cuts us off. And
Right.
Boy, I can't go over there. I mean, it's not. I don't know if people think that, but maybe they do. But it's not like that.
Well, there's the movies and TVs like, oh, darn it, they went into the next county. I got to let them go. No, sorry.
Well, and I think we're used to that with the medic program as well as fire. That's just kind of an integral part of our job. On any day shift, we can be short medics because of an accident or medicals, and we're always here in Cottage Grove, and that come up to help out
All
in
the
some
time.
way.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing with investigations, you work closely with our investigations.
Oh, yeah, all the
because
time.
a lot of stuff that people we deal with and some of the crimes we deal with, they intertwine, and sometimes it's kind of all part of a big puzzle.
Usually if I call one of the detectives and drop them a name that I'm dealing with, they're familiar with either who they are, what family they're from, or they've had cases as well that have connected. So it's a nice working group to have for a resource. Yeah, definitely.
And I know, like, some of it, we've done some training together, like we've done firearms training up at the Ramsey County Range where we, qualify together. We do some other kind of trainings, like you brought up FATS training, and FATS stands for
Boy, that's
firearms
Training simulator,
sense.
I thought.
something like that.
Simulator?
Yeah. Anyway, it's simulation.
It's like a
on
giant duck hunt.
big screen. Big screen with scenarios going on, and then we react, and you can shoot at the screen or whatever. But we've done that because you guys have that technology, and so but it is kind of nice that we get to know each other as officers. It's really a
Huge.
small community, really.
Yeah.
So
You're right. I agree. And through all the aspects of it, not a firefighter, but as a paramedic and police officer, SWAT, we get a chance.
Yep.
K9, you're always, it's always so neat to train with and work with other departments, especially, I think we do a lot with Cottage Grove. Newport and St. Paul Park too.
Yep.
I do more
And
with
the county.
Cottage Grove than I do with, than I go north and go to
Right.
Oakdale or, I
Yeah.
don't know why, and we still do that too, but
yeah.
And Jason Posel and Brian Klein have been great with my experience with K9. Being the only guy down here, it's kind of
Right.
hard
yeah,
to train
by yourself.
So I know Jason Posel and Brian Klein have been phenomenal throughout my career of K9 training, and they've always welcomed me into train and use their equipment or different training locations. So it's been huge.
And with fire, you know, they share a lot of resources as well.
Always.
Yeah.
So we kind of were talking about that before the show started, you know, if there's always a need for mutual aid
Always.
with fire.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I think our fire departments, are any of you firefighters as well?
Not
'Cause you
anymore, we
have
were.
the
They
dual
both
role.
were.
Right.
Okay. And so was there some training there then with your fire department and our fire department? Like some fire departments maybe hit a fire in a different way than another one does. So
Yeah.
the cross training is kind of nice. So Cottage Grove knows how Woodbury likes
Right.
to fight a fire.
We
fight
do.
a fire.
Live
Towards the
burns?
end, at some of the
Some.
live burns, we try to get, or we did get agencies together.
Yeah.
I know we burned several houses in Woodbury, and we call other
Empty
agencies
houses.
in.
Empty-
Yeah, empty.
Right.
Sorry.
For that purpose.
That's
Sorry.
like, sorry, you might want to leave.
But no, they show up, and you get to practice their techniques, and it was
Yeah.
nice. You get to work with them.
Yep.
And when we did have mutual call or mutual aid for actual structure fires, everybody seemed to work together pretty
Yeah.
good.
That's good. Yeah, and so that's a really nice thing. And really, it goes for EMS too. You know, we're always kind of backing each
Always.
other
We
up.
have
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And I think now we kind of even have a tighter agreement with EMS as far as how many ambulances each city is staffing because we back up each other.
Yeah, I think it's an actual agreement. I mean, it's
Yeah.
an actual, we're going to
Yep.
call you.
Numbers
if we're,
or-
Yep, that
Yeah.
happens a lot.
It's kind of like Murphy's Law. It's when you start getting all the calls they all happen at
Yeah.
once.
The light
The floodgate
switch.
opens
Yep.
and you're like,
Yeah,
whoa.
feast or famine.
Yeah.
Right?
And if people don't understand what mutual aid is, I guess maybe we should describe that a little more. It's when our resources are depleted and we need to rely on outside resources. And so Woodbury obviously runs very similar service, so we're able to work together.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes we may just need an ambulance, or sometimes we may need a paramedic and an ambulance,
Yeah. Right.
or vice versa.
Right.
So, yeah, it's kind of nice. And then
So you may be a Cottage Grove resident, but you might have a Woodbury ambulance show up, or vice versa.
I think if you're calling an ambulance, you don't really care what it says on the side.
Right.
That's right.
As long as it
You're
gets there.
kind of happy
long
to
as
see
it
that
says
ambulance,
ambulance
yeah,
somewhere
show
outside
up,
of it.
and,
Yep.
and somebody with some gear and knowledge to help you out. So, all
All
right.
right.
So another big thing that is going to be happening here, we hope in the pretty near future, is this Hero Center. Yeah. Do you guys talk a lot about that at your department, or?
We've mentioned it.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice to have an all-in-one kind of training facility. Right now, both agencies are spread out as to where we go for firearms, where we go for fire. And, people don't realize that takes a lot to get to where you need to be, whereas if you could go to one place, have mutual agencies share it, it's going to cut down on a lot of your travel time, but then you can consolidate, and it will be the center for the region
Yeah,
versus
centrally
going somewhere
located.
else. And how they run it, we can set up the guidelines and keep it a lot safer too, and
Yeah.
practice training together easier.
Yeah, it's a pretty good concept, I think, and there isn't really anything like that in this East Metro area.
No.
So
That's the thing.
even for new students in training for whether it's police, fire, or
Right.
EMS, there will be that facility available there, and they're partnering, I know, with colleges and with Regents Hospital, for all this different
Yeah.
kind of training within the one center. So right now, I think they're still looking at locations. So there's a couple different locations that are being considered in Cottage Grove. So
The
we're
latest I
kinda-
heard is they were interviewing the construction companies to see who we're going to
Yep.
pick.
Okay.
I think that was just decided this week, if I read the email right, or at least it was down to 3. So.
It was down to 3, yep. Yeah, so it's moving forward, and we're kind of
exciting.
excited about that. So there again, we'll just have more training time
Yeah.
available
Oh, that's gonna be
with
great.
each other.
Yeah,
It'll
for
be
sure.
awesome. It'll be great for new students too.
Yeah.
Out in this East Metro area. So, that kind of is going to wrap up our show. We're so thankful that you guys came
Yeah.
down.
Absolutely.
Here.
Yeah, we
Good to
should do
see
this
you.
more often.
We should go up
Do
to
it more
their
often.
place.
We can meet halfway for coffee, maybe,
Yeah.
and film our next show or something.
That's a great idea.
Maybe we all can go in a police car and we all can do a.
We could do that. Who
Yeah.
gets the back seat is what we say, right? Like a paddy wagon.
There we
Well,
go.
that'll do it for our show. So thank you guys for joining us.
bet.
And until next time, be safe.